live.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna ask Ryan, she here by my side, how many people is in already because I cannot see.
16.
Now we have 16 people watching us already. Greg, how are you, Greg?
Always good while talking to you and with you.
Good, 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 good. Let's just wait for 1 minute more so we can see some more people join.
Of course,
Our,
I can see that we have different temperatures in terms of the color balance. So you are more red and I'm more yellow.
I'm more cold. I'm more cold guy.
Good, nice.
Yes, yes, yes. So now you got how many people you got, Rihanna? So for the people who are here already, today I'm going to interview one of the great photographers around the world. And also, he's my friend, Greg Moments. I'm going to introduce him just in a few minutes. Thank you all.
You are going to talk about me for a few minutes. Guys, that will be the most boring stuff you've ever heard.
We're gonna learn from you right now. Rihanna, how many people you got, darling?
You can start.
Okay, Greg. So for the people who are here with us, we're going to start right now because this live will be just 1 hour. So in 45 minutes, I'm going to make some questions for Greg Moments. In 45 minutes, if people have questions, you can write down your comments. Ryan's going to take the questions, and 15 minutes before the live, we're going to answer that. Okay, and for the people watching as well, just to let you know, I got a gift for you in the end. Yes, so stay in the end. I'm going to give a very good gift for you. So I don't know how many people know, but I'm going to introduce. He's a friend of mine, Greg Moments. Greg Moments, he's one of the most prestigious photographers of the world. He's a master of WPI, master of SWPP, and also a judge. So Greg Moments, there is so many. He has so many awards around the world. That's why he's here with us to share his knowledge with us. Thank you, Greg Moments, for being here with us. It's a pleasure to have you.
It is not easy to hear about the awards, but I can tell you guys that one of the best awards in my life is having Sam among my friends.
Thank you very much, Greg. I do appreciate. I met Greg in Poland last year, if I'm not wrong. Was 1 year ago, isn't
2
it?
years.
No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. But we have met again in SWPP last year in December. Always a pleasure to be with Greg because we share our experience, we share our things together because then the day we want to grow together our photography. So I always say if you want to be good in something, stay close to someone is good as well. So Greg Moments for me, he's one of my inspiration in photography. I'm going to ask something for Greg. Greg, when did you start participating in competition and why?
Okay, Sam, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. This is a real pleasure. Also, because of the coronavirus all around, we cannot meet personally, so we are just using YouTube and internet to feel connected and to still be in the industry. And the second thing is that I see that there are people online, so if they are ashamed and they don't know about what to ask, guys, if you don't even know what to put as a comment, just if you can put the country you are from, so we will see at least with Sam from which countries you are, and just for us. So if you don't know what to comment or what to put there, just put the name of the country, and at least we will see that the system is working. Sam is always focusing with his beautiful wife on new technology, so we are using a very sophisticated application now. So I'm also quite excited about this. So if you can put the country, it will be the message that everything is working. But coming back to the question, Sam, actually I started everything more or less 4 or 5 years ago when I was quite fully booked wedding photographer in Poland, but I felt that I'm missing something and I wanted to compete with other photographers. And because I don't have any photography background, I wanted to really check where my photography was. So that was just the beginning. And the first time it was just for fun.
Very good, very good. So it was 5 years ago you started competition.
That was my first try. Unfortunately, I spent a fortune on 8 first prints, and my scores were very low, like below the standard. So that was the message to me that I have no knowledge about the competition, and that was the moment that I decided to grow, to be better, and to try next year, but with a different approach.
Very nice, Greg. Very nice. How much competitions have impacted your life as a photographer? The advantage of having award-winning photos, which doors opens for you after that, as a photographer and your customers,
Custom.
your customers.
Okay. First of all, and it needs to be said, from my perspective, competitions are not for our clients, and they are not for growing in terms of the sale. All competitions are created. This is my understanding of competitions as a judge, and also as a winner. The competitions are for us because if you are asking me, Sam, about the door which were open, I think the most important 2 doors. First was the door of my heart, and second was the door of my imagination and creativity. Because we all have the message from our clients that they are happy about the images, they like it. So we live in the world where we feel that we are on the proper level, on the proper standard. But the thing is that because you work hard and you edit the images and you spend hours shooting and editing, you actually, as a matter of fact, you don't have a real time to think and to focus on the quality, because you need to earn money, because you need to run business, because you need to meet clients, because you need to meet the deadlines.
True.
So, except, of course, this romantic part of our personality, the heart and the imagination, winning a competition also um, opens the door for you in terms of cooperation with companies. The all big companies like Nikon, Wacom, ASO, and others, they usually want to sell their products through the photographer. So instead of putting an ad in the magazine and presenting a new camera or a new monitor or a new Wacom tablet, they rather would like to pick winners of the competitions and help them to grow, and also sponsor them and give them something that they can use and they can tell afterwards whether the stuff is good or bad. So we have like 2 different fields. The first field, which could be opened through the competition, is about you, and the second is about your business. But it has nothing, from my perspective, it has nothing in common in having more clients, because you can be a winner and you can still have no clients. So it's all about us, and it's all about what you can get from the market, but you need to know how to use it.
Yes, competition for me is always a things we are doing the right things, like all the techniques we've been learning in the past, we can apply on that day for the competition. So all the judges, of course, going to see the light, the history of the photograph. So if our photograph has a high score, means we are in the right way. So I think that's the point as well, because you need to find out sometimes if you are doing correctly, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so true. There are many reasons that people decide to join the competitions, but there are also many reasons that people are afraid of joining the competition. So we need to understand both sides and both perspectives.
Absolutely. And another question, Greg. Do you believe that it forces you to improve as a photographer as you start competing?
Say again, Sam, there was some delay and I cannot hear you.
Okay. Do you believe that it forces you to improve as a photographer after you started competing?
If I believe that in other words, if I believe that I want to be better since I start the competitions, this is the question.
Yes.
It depends how you would react some on the first.
You like when you said when you first start competition, you didn't score high, but after you start competition and going for the competition many times forces you to improve your photograph.
Yeah. I got the question. I'm trying to find the proper answer for you and the honest one. What I believe, everything depends some on you, on how you understand the first message and the first score that you will receive from the judges, because there are people. If you let's put it this way. Let's say that you participate for the first time in the competition for the first time, and let's say that your image for the first time had a score 78, which is below the standard. What are you going to do with this message from the market, from the judges? Are you going to say, guys, go home, I mean, I'm good, I have customers, I know where I am with the photography? Or you understand the message, you believe in the quality, and you make the decision, I want to be better. So both ways depend on your personality and how you fight against the fear and against the bad message in your life. Some of us want to hide in homes, but some of us wants to prove that they can be better. And this is something which I believe is very important. This is a crucial part, because if you don't believe that you can be really better, and if you don't see the goal, and if you don't understand the rules, if you don't understand how you can be better, how you can improve, if you will not train yourself, taking part in not only competitions but also in trainings, testing something with the light, with the posing, you can't be better. But personally, if you are asking about my experience and about me, yes, competitions have helped me for the last 5 years, almost 5 years, to be better. But even if people don't see that you are better, because it's very difficult to prove every time that you have better images, there is always a limit.
Yes.
But what is important is that you feel that you can be better, and at the same time you need to also feel that you are better every year. You cannot only run after the rabbit. You also, from time to time, you need to touch the rabbit. You need to have this feeling that, okay, I made a progress, but there is still a lot of things to reach, but you need to feel the progress from time to time. Otherwise, the journey and the way of learning will be too long. You need to have deadlines. You cannot say, I want to win in 5 years. No, I want to win in 5 years, but in the meantime, I want my images to be scored higher. I want to choose this category. You need to have a plan.
Yeah, so plan is the first thing to do before I start competition. So I have this for myself as well. And not just about to improve your pictures every time, because it's hard when you are a certain level. You cannot do every time too much to get
Exactly.
higher. But the consistency, if you do the consistent every time, I think it's a good point. Because as we are photographers, we cannot do our work like a job, very good job, and after that do a bad job. You need to keep the consistency. That's the main goal for us.
Yes, exactly. You mean, I mean, if you are among the photographers which understand the photography, I'm not saying that I'm there, but let's say that someone is. We can compare this person to the best group of soccer players. They need to keep the standard. From time to time, they have weaker day, they have better day. They can score 3 goals during one match. They have 0 sometimes. But every time when they start the game, you can be sure as a fan that these people keep the standard. This is all about the photography. If you can keep the standard, if you can ensure clients and the association, society, your friends, your couples, that you cannot tell them that you will make the best images in the world next Saturday, because you don't know what will be the weather, the lights,
Yeah.
how nice will be the bride or the groom. But what you can tell them that if they choose you, you can guarantee the standard, but the result is always unknown from my perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we have over 24 people watching, 20 people watching us, and people just got here now. I have here with me Greg Moments, one of the top photographers in the world for me, from my perspective. And I'm sure a lot of people consider it as well, because Greg Moments is a world award winner photographer from WPI and also a judge. That's why he's here with us. And now you guys have seen how important you guys to get in the competition, as Greg Ward he said. So I'm going to make some technical questions for Greg as well. It's some of the most questions people have been asked for quite a long time. So now we have the opportunity to ask for someone who understands about the rules, about the photograph, about everything. So Greg, ready?
I'm ready. I just put a comment that we are waiting for questions from guys. So
Okay, guys, if you're watching us, please, if you have questions, write down there. Ryan is taking the question here next to me. And 15 minutes before we finish the live, so we're going to answer your question. Okay, please write down and say where you come from. We'll be very happy to help you out. Okay, so Greg, how the photographers should prepare the photos to be sent to the competition?
Okay, this is the question that I hear the most.
Yeah, that's why it's the first one.
Yeah. So Sam, listen, we need to be very frank with people. There are competitions which really are serious in the market, and there are also competitions which are less serious.
Serious.
I mean, it's all about the prestige, but it's also about being fair, and it's also about the quality of judges. And if you don't want to get bankrupt as a participant, first you need to understand the rules of the competition. So don't send images which are not in line with the rules, which happen many times. Don't send images that you believe are good, but there is an obvious mistake, like lack of sharpness, and you really believe that judges will not see it. We will see it. I mean, we will see it. If you see it is not sharp, we will see it. And you will be surprised. When I was a judge for WPPI or SWPP or other competitions, you will be surprised how many times I had the pleasure to judge an image which was out of focus. I mean, if this is in the photojournalistic category and this is a unique, absolutely unique moment, then it's okay. But if this is an image that would you create and you can really spend the time and have few more shots, just making sure that the image is sharp, avoid technical mistakes. What I would suggest, but it's not always easy, and I think this is the best way how people can start thinking about competitions, is to join live competitions somewhere. There are places, there are countries in Poland, or try to contact with the judges if it's allowed, if this is in line with the competition, or try to get the feedback. I know that most competitions don't offer this because it's like too much time, but this is something which I believe would be very helpful. Sending only the image, as I'm talking about the first, about newcomers, that someone who is attending the competition for the first time. If you are sending the image and if you just receive only the score and you don't understand why you got 78 or 88, there is no lesson for you. So you need to prepare yourself in terms of understanding why the image could be good or not could be good, and it's always cheaper to listen to judges, for example, judging online or judging live, because then you can get the message and you can understand, and for the next time before you send an image, maybe you can reconsider it, and maybe you can say, no, this image is not ready, or I have a better image because most of the judges have said this or this or this. So this is all about learning process, Sam.
Absolutely. You said something very important, one point very crucial for me, I think for most of us photographers, because when we send some photos to some competition around the world, we'd like sometimes have a feedback from the judges, but no many association does that. So it's nice, of course, when you send your photos to association, whatever you're going to send, to have some feedbacks from the judges to show the weak points, the points you did good. So they explain to you. So for next time, you'll be improve your photography and you're not going to commit the mistakes anymore. I think it's a very good point.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. You know, we need to also understand, guys, one thing is everything is all about business. This is the industry. We all earn money, right? Like be frank with our people and with the people who are watching now. You need to understand that small associations, small groups, they ask judges to judge for the competition, and the judges for free, just supporting the society and the industry, they judge the images, they spend their own time, and they don't have time and ability to be able to put a comment on every image because it's the free support of the industry. Many associations also invest a lot of money in systems, in trophies, in certificates, in many things just to honor the winners at the end. And but there is actually no big money at the end. It's all about building the associations. But there are big companies, like huge companies, who started their history 15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They charge, and I'm okay with that. But then they can pay judges, and judges, that's why they spend with them 1, 2, 3 days judging, because they don't do it for free. This is their work. So it's very difficult judging or organizing online competition to give people written feedback, because then there is no money in this kind of projects for societies to pay 8, 10, or 7 or 5 judges. So we need to understand also that it's all about either business or supporting the associations, and there are always limits in this. Just let's think about also about this.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Greg. So another question. What photographers need to catch the judge's attention?
In terms of the image?
Yes. So what they need to do on the image to catch the judge's attention?
Okay. First of all, there's a lot of things, Sam, and you know the story. But first of all, many things depend, Sam, about the category that you choose for your image when you submit the image. If you choose very hard category, which is, for example, studio portrait or creative portrait, the creativity needs to be absolutely unique. Think this way: if there is 5 judges in the category, if the judges see sometimes 50, sometimes 300 images, and if the judges are experienced photographers, they have done their stuff 10 or 20 years, and they've done hundreds of beautiful portraits, how unique needs to be the portrait? Now, it's not about beauty of the model, it's not about beautiful light, it's about something which wake up your heart when you see the portrait as a judge for the first time. It needs to be unique in terms of something that most of the judges have not seen through the years, which is not easy to achieve. But if we are talking about photojournalistic category, for example, guys, we are still waiting for the comments. I don't know why I can't see any countries. Do you see them, Sam?
No, I've not seen.
Yes.
Yeah, Ryan is seeing. Yeah, Ryan is seeing.
Malaysia, Brazil.
Malaysia, Brazil.
So you see it, but I don't see it from my perspective.
Yeah, probably you don't see yours. So be on your right hand side. Yes, there's a lot of people in there from other countries, Greg.
Okay, I'm just. Oh, now I see. Oh. Okay, hallelujah.
Sorry, guys, we are new on this.
Oh, ma. Okay, see. I will answer the question. Good. Hello, Greg. Portugal, Brazil, from Malaysia. Oh my goodness. Super. Okay. So, but if you choose the category, for example, photojournalistic, and let's say, Sam, that you are a judge and you've shot hundreds of weddings.
Yeah.
How unique needs to be the moment in the photojournalistic categories that 5 judges with hundreds of weddings in their career would see this image like completely unique?
Something I never see before.
Yeah, so this is something that you need to really prepare your image before sending. Don't send only beautiful image. I mean, send it, because then you can always grow, but don't expect that only beautiful image will win. It needs to be beautiful and also unique image. I very often during my workshops, which I provide worldwide,
Yeah.
I'm asking for wedding photographers, guys, if you have 30 seconds and if I give you now 2 wedding rings, how would you photograph them having 30 seconds in a creative way? And most of the beginners will tell me, okay, we are going to put the wedding rings on your hands, on the flower, on the veil, something which is for many beginners unique, because they have never ever done it before and they don't have this kind of shots in their portfolio. But if you shot hundreds of weddings, you have so many similar images. So it needs to be really something like out of the box.
Absolutely. I think the same. It needs to be something unique, never seen before, because I just said we shoot a lot of weddings. Normally we see so much images, so in everything is similar. So that's why I keep telling people, shoot something unique, go for your heart, create something unique. That's the good point, Greg. Another question, Greg. How is important is the history behind the image in a competition?
Well, officially, the image needs to have a story officially, but also as a judge, let me tell you something. There are images which you can see, and even though they don't have a strong story, the other parts like lighting, composition, tonality, way how it's presented, it's much more important than the message, because not every category requests the message. If you judge photojournalistic category, the message needs to be very strong. But if you shoot, for example, nature, sometimes the story doesn't have to be there, but all other aspects are there. Remember, guys, please, that Sam is doing the same. When we organize a workshop, competitions, or if we judge for other competitions, usually we don't pick, or we are not a group of judges from the same field. Very rarely there is a photographer, wedding photographer, in the same team of judges. No, very often you have wedding, portrait, nature, newborn, business, advertisement, because the image needs to be judged very often by the photographers seeing more than only their fields. So we need to be careful. Of course, the story is very important, but there are always other things that needs to be also presented in a good way.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Another question, guys, we are watching us. Please, if you have any questions, write down. Ryan is taking all the questions. So 15 minutes before you finish the live, you're going to answer that. Greg is here to answer. Greg, another question. What do the judges looking for a winning image?
Okay, so this is another story. Just to understand, most of the competitions, so I would like people to know it. I understand that people who are watching us out there are people who are interested in competitions. So guys, winning the first, second, or the third place in particular category doesn't mean that if you are a winner of the category, you will be the winner or over winner or something like this. Because sometimes categories have images on the totally different levels. There are also competitions and there are also categories that we are asked to score the image, to comment, And at the end of the day, we forget about scores. We, as judges, we need to spend another 5 minutes watching the best 5 or 10 images with the highest score, but the score is not important. We have a group of 10 best images, and very often the image with the highest score, which it got in the first round, it will not win the category at the end of the day, because it is maybe fantastic, but maybe the image number 3 with a little bit lower score, it's absolutely out of the box, because 9 images are very similar, but the one which is maybe not with the highest score but is out of the box, is absolutely different than all others, will be the winner. So we need to understand that winning the competition, it's not about only having image with the highest score, but it's about to have an image with very high score, but also with a unique approach of the photographer. But this uniqueness you need to learn and you need to understand.
Absolutely, I agree. I had another question, Greg, is about photojournalism. How is important is in a competition, the photojournalism? Because sometimes people just shoot like they go for a shooting, they have the lights, they have everything, they prepare everything. But sometimes people forgetting about the photojournalism. How is important for the people going to the competition on photojournalism as well?
Okay, so again, the world is a little bit divided into two kinds of competitions. One part is closer to my heart. These are the competitions where more lighting, posing is important, and maybe less energy in the images. Maybe it's because of the part of the world where we live. But if we are talking about, for example, my friends from Brazil and the way how they express emotions, we can see it everywhere in the cinema. Also, when we admire their images, there are very often more images which people create on the wedding day, when the control of the light is much more difficult, when you don't have time, but you are dependent on the luck, on the moment, on the uniqueness. So these competitions are extremely difficult to win, because even though you have very good skills, or you know what will happen and you know how to shoot it, you also need to have a luck in terms of a unique story, which sometimes it could happen or sometimes it could not happen. So just an example, you can have a beautiful wedding cake, and the couple who is just cutting the cake, and light could be beautiful and everything under control. But there is also another shot with a much less beautiful cake, with very harsh bad light, because the light was harsh. But let's say that in one moment the wedding cake is going down. It's like absolutely strong disaster. So for us, for judges, of course, it will be much stronger image when the wedding cake is falling down, even though the light is not perfect. So as I said, you need to be lucky. That's why for my photography, photojournalistic is less for me. I prefer personally to show skills in different fields and not to only depend on the luck. But I'm not saying that the photojournalistic category is less important, but something needs to happen which you cannot control, and this is sometimes not for everybody.
Absolutely, agreed. It's quite funny because last week I said the same example for some people who was watching me about the cake. Because sometimes the moment is very important. Sometimes you have bad light, you have bad everything, but sometimes the moment is like someone like going to cut the cake and the cake's falling down. So if you catch that moment, it's probably going to be a award winner for
Yeah,
the
that's true.
moment. Means you are very aware what happening around you. You are
That's true.
with your eyes really wide open to capture the moment. That's important thing as well in journalism. Yeah, it's very good. And Greg, the last question I
Sure.
prepared for you. After Ryan's gonna give you some more people. They are online. They are make some questions as well. So you go for that. Just people are watching us. Please stay to the end. I'm gonna give you some gifts. Uh, one gift for each of you who are watching us. Yes, please stay in the end. It's going to be very good, guys. So the last question, Greg. We know we was talking about all the processing, all the style of photography, photojournalism, but there is a particular one I really like as well. The photos creating studio environment. What's your advice for the photographers? What they should do to catch the judge's eyes? Because a lot of people they don't do edits, but they do a lot studio. So they go for the competition with a studio environment photos. So what do you advise for them?
For studio shots.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, please guys be aware that studio shots categories are the toughest categories in most of the competitions. There is usually always the highest number of images. So you are like competing with literally the whole world. So just let's start the answer from this part. So you need to be really good if you want to compete with other guys who know the stuff. The second, unfortunately, very often it is not enough to be a good photographer when you compete in the portrait category, in studio category, but your Photoshop skills needs to be also on the proper level. And this is something which some people cannot be happy about, because they believe that photography is not about Photoshop, but is about taking pictures. So just to understand that if you are not familiar with Photoshop tools, it will be much more complicated for you to win the category. The next thing is you need to really control the light. And it is not enough to put a good-looking boy or a good-looking girl, put them together and just present a beautiful image with a good lighting, because when you Google and when you put on Google model studio shot, you see plenty of them. So for me, if I can give an advice for photographers who shoot for studio shots categories, first think about the image. I mean, prepare yourself. Create it in your head, so then when you shoot, you can really create something which is first in your head, and try to also think or remember also that, okay, let's say this way, many competitions, before they ask judges to judge, they ask judges to go through last 5 or 10 years through winning galleries. So don't repeat somebody's idea, don't repeat somebody's image, because we see it and we know it, because we are asked to go through other images. So try to be, again, unique and create something in the way which we have not seen. And it's getting harder and harder each year. There is more and more photographers joining the competitions. Maybe for beginners, just giving an advice, maybe it's easier to choose the category which is not as strong and not as obvious. In some categories, there are really low number of images, and maybe this is something which you should start with.
Very good. Just one question, Greg. The last one, so we can go for the people who are watching us. Sometimes people ask me about the skin tones, about the texture. So what is important is the skin texture on the competition.
Okay, regarding the skin, it's about textures and it's about skin tones. So in terms of texture, if this is a kind of portrait, where we really want to present the face and the breast and the shoulders, it is very important to control them. We are talking now about this. If we are talking about the highest level of images in the world, texture is very important. It is, of course, much more complicated to present the texture if you a little bit too overexpose the image while shooting. So it's much better to control if you really create an image for the competition. But also, Sam, it's very important to control tones. Very often you can see, for example, two people next to each other or hands and face in the frame, and there is absolutely different tonality, and we can see that photographer put an effort and spent time while editing in Photoshop the face, so the texture is there, the tones are there, but he forget that the girl or the boy has also hands, and hands has different textures or different tones. So for portraits, it is crucial. For the best competitions in the world, it is crucial.
Absolutely. Guys, we are nearly finished. We have about 20 minutes to finish. I have some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions from the people watching us, Greg. But before I start asking that questions, people stay there to the end. I'm going to present you with a gift. So as many people know, tomorrow we start our competition with EPA, Expression Photographer Awards. That's why we have this live to explain to you how it's important you know the steps to go for a competition. Yes. Another thing is very important, Greg was mentioned in the beginning. Our judges, they always comment, they give you some advice for you to improve your pictures next time. That's why we try to help people out for the next competition and go on. Greg,
Tell me.
Glauco from Brazil. I'm gonna ask here. Greg said that you should plan for the competition. How does he plan his participation competitions?
Unfortunately, I am unable now to show you the backstage from my, let's say, studio shooting, but let me tell you something. One of the most characteristic images from my portfolio is the image. I cannot put it as a comment, unfortunately. Is the image you can see it on my fan page or on my Instagram. The image with the backs of my wife and the hair, which creates something which is like a tree. You need to see it. It's not Photoshop. It's like directly from the camera. Just a small touch.
I'm gonna post the link on the comments.
Rihanna is gonna post the link on the comments, Greg. She just tell me she see the pictures and she's gonna post the link on the comments so people can go on the comments on Instagram and see your pictures.
You see, you are the king.
I saw the pictures in Poland. You show me. Yes, we love.
Okay, so this is the good example. I'm just talking to you, and I'm trying to send you. If you give me, guys, like 10 seconds, please. Maybe I'm able to send it now to you, Rihanna. Rihanna is fantastic.
She's doing.
If he can send me better.
If you send to Rihanna, it's better.
Sending to Rihanna is always better.
She's the organizer.
Okay, send it. I send it on Skype, so maybe she will be able to see it, or you can publish it later. But just finishing.
Okay.
So for this image, which looks like there is no Photoshop, I spent maybe 5 days thinking about how I can present a story about telling that the woman is a part of the earth. And I start always with the idea what should be the message from the image. This is my beginning. And then I'm thinking what should be the elements without framing them, with like thinking about what should be the elements of the image which needs to be used to be able to tell the story. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And then when I have these elements, I try to put them together in a creative way. Some of you guys needs music. I cannot work with music. I need to have absolutely silence when I work. So everybody is different. And so what I'm trying to say, very rarely you will win the competition just going to studio, meeting a model, meeting their a makeup specialist, a hairdresser, just beautiful shot and that's it. No, you need to start from absolutely a different way. You need to first start with the concept, with the message, think about elements, and they try to put together. But you need to, of course, needs to be familiar with lighting and posing. But I understand that if you want to compete in the competitions, you are familiar with this.
Absolutely. I hope that one answered the question of Glauco.
I just shared the picture.
Ryan, just share the pictures, guys, so you can click on that and go to Greg Instagram and check that out. And you see his amazing works. Also, he has a Facebook page. If you guys want to follow him, please go Greg Moments. Ryan can share as well this in our comments. Please go there. You will have a lot of things learned from him, guys, for sure. Another question from Vladimir Spindola. He's a friend of mine. He lives in England. So, hi, Simon Greg. How can you understand right concept for competitions? Thank you.
How can I understand if the concept of the image is right for the competition?
The right concept for the competition. The right one.
This is a very good question.
Tough one.
Listen, let me first of all thank you for watching us and thank you for this question. You never know. This is a very honest question and answer. You never know. Very often, photographers with a beautiful history and many awards send, let's say, 5 images for the competition. 4 of them are very high scored and one is like 78. Very often it happens. So sometimes you need to rely on your instinct. Sometimes you think you found something new, but 5 or 4 judges will tell you this is not something new, or this is maybe new, but the way you created this is not unique. So you never know. But try not to over exaggerate. Try be creative, but keep things simple. Don't spend the time looking for locations out of the world, because we judges, we understand that some of us live in beautiful places and countries. Some of us are beginners and they live in small villages, and I'm the proof, the living proof. So instead of except having forest, cows, dogs, and cows around, there's no beautiful place. So we judges know that photography is not about the background. The background, the creativity is important, but the background, it's not always important, because we understand that it's easier to create beautiful image with interesting background. So it's not about, for example, backgrounds. But you never know. You just need to participate in the competition. Just try yourself. Send it to some competition, and what about just having the feedback and see where is your imagination and what judges think about you.
Absolutely. I agree, Greg. Thank you. Wei Lin, I don't know where he come from, but Wei Lin, he asked, will there be comments other than escort in Magic Lens competition next year? If you go in,
I will, of course, I know who is. He's a very talented, awarded
I love his photos.
Photographer. Okay, why? I shouldn't probably talk
He's from
about.
Myanmar.
Say it again.
Myanmar.
Okay, I think that I should not talk here about Magic Lens competition, because this is a totally different competition than SAMS.
Don't worry. We are.
But this is the same.
New.
Okay, let me tell you something. Why? The Magic Lens competition, which I created 3 years ago, it's exactly the same what Sam is doing now. This is something which is sponsored by me. I'm not earning money from this competition. I'm sending trophies to all winners. I'm sending certificates. It's not only about downloading them. We are sending literally them. It's a lot of money at the end, which we need to spend. I've spent a lot of money, and I'm not complaining. I did it with a pleasure. In the system, in the judging system, in your profile also, everything is online. So at the moment, we just don't have the budget, being very honest, to be able to pay extra money to judges for their time. If I ask Sam, and I know that Sam will be the one of the judges for the next round. So if I ask Sam, can you support the project? Can you use your knowledge, and you can support the group on Facebook? I know, because he already told me that he will do it with pleasure. I would do exactly the same if one day Sam will ask me, Greg, can you support me? With pleasure. But if I have a great judge, a great photographer, if I ask Sam, can you judge hundreds of images and put a comment? Guys, understand, this is, if I have a budget, I would love to do it, but we are not as big as competitions which started the history 20 years ago, and we don't have investors. And also, I believe that it could be a different way to get a comment from other photographers or other judges, not only from the competition. I really think that you understand what I'm trying to tell you. And if we are an organization, or if Sam is an organization, because I know that you expect guys having comments, this is obvious, not only scores, but if we are a huge organization, like let's say SWPP, which I admire and I love them, but this is a huge business. They have also a fair, they have sponsors, there is a budget. Here in these smaller projects, trying to be very fair and trying to be very in line with the judging process, the only thing which we can give you, because of the budget limits, are the trophies, certificates, whatever we prepare, and also our time. But at the moment, I hope one day when we meet with Sam in 10 years, we will be able to sit and lie with our wives in Mexico, smoke cigar. I don't smoke.
I don't.
Smoke cigar. Yeah, me neither. And we can say, okay, now we can give all of you a comment as long as a book, but it will not happen very often, especially when we see how coronavirus will influence the market. So I think we'll just need to be patient and just stay on track. That was a long answer, sorry, but
Okay.
just people to understand.
I know it's very difficult, it's hard for us who has association, but we do for our love, for our heart, because we want to share our knowledge with people. We want our industry grow as well. So this is opportunity for everyone. Yes. Also, Apple Expression Photographer Awards, Magic Lens. Please, people enjoy, because you have something back. So we do this with our heart. Yes. So, Greg, another question. So there is no name, but I think there is a business name here, One Hot Productions. So what's your advice for beginners entering the competition? And what type of photos or subject do you recommend?
Okay. I hate saying this, but if you don't want to waste your money, your time, your emotions, maybe it's worth to contact, for example, Sam or me or other people who are experienced with the competition. Like, ask them about online 1 hour paid tutorial, conversation, mentoring, something like this, whatever you can define it. And what about talking to Sam or me? Like, guys, I need 1 hour. This is the cost, because even if I pay this, just an example, it will give me feedback which I can use and not waste money for the image which is not ready for the competition. I'm not saying that you need to just contact us now and give us your money. It's not about that. It's about either talking to someone or listening the live judging. If there is an option, just make some investment. I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about your time, your devotion. And before sending, spend few minutes understanding the competition, or send for the competition. Like Sam is saying that he's announcing his competition tomorrow. Send maybe not 10, not for the first time, send 5 images. Got the feedback and then contact someone. And don't maybe do it like in Facebook groups. There are people very often who are not experienced with the competition. And if someone has a knowledge, guys, if you have the knowledge, let's assume that you are a photographer. I don't know who you are, but let's assume that you are experienced with the knowledge, winner judge. Would you sell something for free, or would you put a comment many times online in Facebook groups? Probably not. So this is how it works. So talk to someone, and this is learn. But I know that we have time limits, and it's 5 to 7. But the answer is not very easy. I was just trying to give you a tip.
Yes, it's quite hard. It's quite hard. No, it's quite hard. But Orlando Fernandes, I think he's from Portugal. For Greg, what's the most important prize you won and the most emotive?
Okay, because this is a general question, so I can tell you something. Maybe you are not asking about this, because if you use my website moment.com.pl, or you can find me on Instagram or on Facebook, you can see a list of awards. But the biggest award which motivates me is the award which was sent from above, who is my wife.
Good. You know, I have the same thing here, my home. My best award when my wife say, okay, that one is a very good pictures.
Yeah, and if the author of the image wants to see the award, just every award is nice. So winning is always nice, but
Yeah,
it's not about this.
absolutely, Greg. Agree. And the last one,
Yeah.
actually, the whole. Does we need always to tell the history on behind on each photo when we send photo competition?
I think I already answered this question when I was.
Yes, I think you over answered this question as well, Greg. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for asking. But if you will watch the video again, I already answered this question. But thank you for this.
Okay. So let me see if I got something else, guys. We are nearly finished. I need to give you something away. I'm just gonna ask my wife. She does everything here for me. I'm just a guy come and speak.
I'm gonna get coupon.
So I'm going to give you guys a coupon so you can have a free image entry in our competition tomorrow. Ryan is gonna write down the comments below. Please have a look at the coupon. So select your image and go for the competition. I'm sure our judge is gonna give you some feedback for you to have an idea what's the good points in your pictures, what you did wrong. I want to say, Greg, thank you very much for staying with us, to share your experience. As we know, you are very well known in this industry. Thanks for being here with us, spend your time with us, and thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
My pleasure, Sam. And guys, if you are watching now or tomorrow, please think this way, that guys like Sam is building something new, and you don't see the financial part, but it's not easy now to organize anything. So use this coupon and send the best image. I'm not going to ask Sam if I am able to participate.
Yes,
so
of course you can.
Give me the coupon, guys, then.
The coupon will be right there in the comments. And guys, the competition starts tomorrow, and we look forward to see you there and make our industry, our association grow around the world. Thank you very much for being with us, for watching us. I hope you guys enjoy. Please share. And Greg, once more, thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you.
My pleasure. Take care, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.